It's a very exciting day because today I'm talking to you about all of my favorite coloring books. I'm really excited to share all of the small business with you. Let's get started. 2024 was the year of coloring for me. I had really bad seasonal depression this year, and my friend Kendra had a coloring book going, not this one. Let me get the correct one when I'm talking about it. My friend Kendra had a coloring book going super viral on TikTok, and I was like, you know what? Let me just buy it. Why not, right? When I say that this coloring book changed my life, I mean it. Up until this point, I didn't really have a hobby that was strictly just a hobby. Pretty much was at a point where everything I was doing was for work, whether it was designing, editing, anything like that was always for work. Reading's about the only other hobby I have that isn't work related, but sometimes even that was feeling like too much thinking and too much on my brain, and I just needed to quiet the voices in my head. I am someone who always has an inner monologue, and I'm always talking to myself, and I'm always stressing, and I'm always worrying, and I just can never shut that voice down. And coloring is about the only time that's ever been quiet for me. And I quickly realized how meditative coloring was for me. And I knew going into this that I was probably gonna worry about color schemes, how good I was coloring, if I was staying in the lines and things like that. But I told myself, just have fun with it. Like, don't worry so much about everything. I was learning how to use alcohol markers for the first time. And you can see like my strokes aren't perfect and everything like that. I'm learning how to use different colors. This marker like died halfway through, so I had to use 2 different colors. Like it didn't have to be serious, and I was okay with that. I love coloring and listening to an audiobook. It feels like I'm able to accomplish 2 hobbies at one time. Sometimes it's like exactly what I need. But I did start filming videos, and that kind of made it fun as well and kept me wanting to keep going with it. It didn't take the fun out of it, even though you could say this is technically now a hobby that I've used for my job. It hasn't taken the fun out of it, and that's what's most important to me, because if that were to happen, I probably would have stopped filming. But it definitely encouraged me to keep going. Now this is where we're at, so you know, we've come a long way this year. So first I want to start with Kendra from Can You Believe It's coloring book. First things first though, I want to mention that these ones are all lefty binding, so they are technically upside down right now, but I just did that so all the spirals were on the same side. That is one thing I super love. She's the only small business I've ever seen who really pays attention and cares about her customers in this way. And until you know the struggle of being a left-hander when using a binder or a planner or anything, really, it's so frustrating. But coloring in particular can be super frustrating. And so I appreciate that she does lefty binding for us. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out from the very beginning. If you're a lefty, definitely recommend. Obviously, if you're right-handed, you can stick with a right-handed binding, and it's just like a normal coloring book. Another thing I love about these coloring pages is how simple they are, and that is a huge pro for me, because sometimes I don't really want to sit down for 2 hours and color the same thing. Other times I am in the mood for that, but not always. And I love that these don't have to be super serious. I have allowed myself to just try new things and not think too hard about it, and I love that that's what these coloring books are. They allow me to just be calm and not think too hard. All of the Can You Believe It coloring books have a good variety of ones that are just quotes or image-based designs, so there's a little bit of something for every mood that you're in, and I just really love all of these coloring books. Highly recommend them. I have all of the Can You Believe It coloring books except for her Christmas one, because that came out last year before I went on this coloring journey. So I do need to order that one. If you're looking for a Christmas coloring book, she has that available, and lots of cute pages in there. I think that one has 25 pages, whereas all of the rest of her coloring books have 20. I'm on my way to go buy that now, so I have it in time for the holidays. Next up, I have to talk about Elise Brienne's. I have 3 of hers. She has more than this. This was the second coloring book I ever got. This was one she got traditionally published, so it's a lot thicker. This will last you forever. It has so many pages. These ones are self-published, so there's less pages, but they're still just as great. Now, I will say the one difference with her coloring books is they are more detailed. So these ones are gonna take you a lot longer, but that's okay. Sometimes you want that. So I'm just gonna kind of flip through some of this. I can't flip through all of it. It's gonna take forever. I love how this one turned out. I didn't point this out in the last flip through, but the Wrestly markers, I learned the hard way, do yellow over time. So this is not a fault of the coloring book. This is a fault of the markers. Thankfully, I took a picture of this before the yellowing happened. So what I've been doing now that I've learned my lesson is I will tape a piece of paper on the back side of this so that it doesn't damage the next coloring page. But I didn't know that at the time. So just something to keep in mind. Ohuhu markers don't do this, so you should be good there. I guess I should have mentioned this when I was talking about Kendra's coloring books, but both of them are pretty good with alcohol markers. If you're like going over the same section over and over and you don't have a barrier piece of paper in between, they're gonna bleed through. But for the most part, these just ghost onto the back for both Can You Believe It and Elise Brienne. I love these coloring books. They're very well put together. The pages are super smooth and they're just all around very fun to color. Every time I flip through these coloring books, there's a new page that I'm like, oh my God, I didn't see that one. I want to do that right now. So there's always something for me to look forward to. Now this is her most recent coloring book. I haven't even flipped through this one yet, let alone colored in it. But I saw it, needed to buy it, went on vacation, and now here we are. I love how all of these coloring books match each other. So yeah, I'm very excited to color this one. I think this one will be really fun, and I like how even the complicated ones aren't overly complicated. Some of these ones in here were very detailed and overwhelming, which is why they haven't been started. Like this one, I just haven't started it. So you definitely have to be in the right frame of mind to do some of the more complicated ones. But overall, I love all of these coloring books and highly recommend if you are someone who likes flowers or anything like that. These are great coloring books to choose from. Elise Brienne also has a coloring book called Put a Bow on It, and this one features super feminine, Taylor Swift, bows, those types of girlhood vibes. But I also wanted to mention that one in case you are on the hunt for a book for someone who's interested in those types of things. Next up is Elijah Deck, and let me just preface these ones by saying these are going to be a little bit more complicated. They can look simple to start, but then you got all these little details you could add to it. People go all out with these types of coloring pages, and sometimes that really overwhelms me. But these are great to just put on an audiobook and start coloring. My biggest tip for these ones, because there are so many elements that you can color, is to add one color at a time and try and put it in multiple places so that overall the whole thing looks cohesive. These lay completely flat, so they are lefty friendly. Elijah Deck also has a second coloring book. I don't have that one yet because I said, wait a minute, you haven't even done half of this first coloring book. Slowly roll. Let's do more of this before we get the second one. But that one seems to be more popular than the first one, at least according to their TikTok. If you're looking for any of those, they have two available. Now I want to go over the Pippi Post books. These are the three I have, but there are more. These ones are Amazon KDP books, so the paper is very thin. The books are pretty flimsy compared to everything else. That's not to say these aren't great coloring books. So this first one here is for book lovers, and it is filled to the brim with bookish designs and quotes, and it's really good to put on an audiobook or put on a comfort show and color with that. Now, if you get the Mary Bookmas one as well, some of the designs kind of carry over. These are easy enough for kids to be able to do them, but they're also interesting enough for adults to do them and find enjoyment out of them. So I like that. They are great for people of all ages, as with pretty much everything I've shown so far. Pippi Post also has some other coloring books, so if you're looking for other seasons and stuff like that, these are the other ones they have. Now the next coloring book I want to go over is this one from KYBI. They have tons of them and they are super popular, so you got a lot to choose from with them. I have not done too many of them. These are very simple. Again, this is another Amazon KDP coloring book, so very thin paper. I think this is a winter coffee shop. I thought that was cute. Definitely lots of cute ones in here. And these aren't super intimidating. Ooh, this art shop is cute. Look at how cute that is. Oh my gosh. Lots of cute scenes in this one. One thing I will say about the Amazon paper is they blend really nicely. Like, look at that, it's so smooth. They obviously bleed all the way through. If I didn't have paper blocking it, it would have bled onto the next page, but no biggie. If you like the KYBI books, definitely tons to choose from. The stress relief one is one that I see a lot of people buying from my Amazon storefront, but they have a ton of them, so probably something for everyone. I just like the one that I got because it seemed more cozy and it seemed not as complicated, and ones that I could actually do in a short amount of time and didn't have to overthink it. Oh my God, I'm just realizing now I forgot a coloring book. Where is it? I forgot one of my favorite coloring books. This is the Jess Paper Co. Cozy Coloring Book, and when I tell you it's cozy, it is cozy. This is another Amazon KDP coloring book. Just like the other one, super flexible, thin paper. You're gonna want a few sheets in between if you're using alcohol markers. But this one is definitely one of my favorites. I love all the different designs in here. It was very well put together and the theme is just wonderful. I love it, I love it, I love it. Now the last one I want to talk about is this one from the Grayter Good. This one threw me for a loop a little bit. I love that cover, it's stunning. I wasn't really sure what to expect with the inside of this. Most coloring books don't show you the full extent of what designs are in here, and I kind of struggled with this one. The vibes aren't all matching each other. I think this one would be good for the right person. I don't think this is one that's good for someone who uses alcohol markers. I think this would be better with someone who likes to use crayons or colored pencils, because there are a lot of thin lines in here, and that's kind of one thing I struggled with, is the line weight was not the same throughout, and there are some designs that just weren't cut out for markers, and I exclusively use alcohol markers. I think some of the designs are super cute, but I don't see myself doing the entire coloring book. I still wanted to share it because it might be something that you or someone you know would be really interested in. So those are all of my favorite coloring books. As of now, I'm sure as next year goes on, people will make more coloring books and I'll have more to add to this list, and my coloring book storage will run out of space, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep collecting them. If you are on the hunt for coloring book recommendations for this holiday season, I hope this helped. If you have any questions about any of the coloring books I mentioned today, leave them in the comments. I have all of these coloring books linked below. Some of them are on Amazon and some of them you can buy directly from the designer. If you order from my Amazon storefront, I earn a small commission, but I greatly appreciate you using my affiliate links. That just helps fund this channel and helps me be able to buy more coloring books from other small businesses. So I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe you added a few of these to your list for yourself or for others. If that's the case, I'd love to know which ones you are buying this year. I am so glad I started coloring this year. It has truly been the best thing for my mental health. I guess to like just throw this in there, I do have digital coloring pages on my website. You can buy those, download them, color them on your iPad, color them by hand, whatever you want. Print them out as many times as you want as well. But I hate coloring my own designs. It's just not as fun to color your own designs. Me personally, I'm more critical of them and I don't get as much enjoyment. It's been really fun to be able to support a variety of small businesses this year. I feel like I'm rambling now, so I'm just gonna close out this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time. Bye. This isn't even all of them.